Okay, so what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you investing as far as a person that might not have any experience at all at investing, and they're looking for Prosper as a means of maybe getting some interest rather than just keeping their savings account and not getting any interest in the bank. So a lot of you already know that Prosper basically allows a person with as little as $25 to invest in loans and then get interest returns on that loan. For instance, a person that's rated A for a loan is most likely to pay back the loan. So in this A category or AA category, the likelihood of you receiving your 6% on your investment is almost for sure, although there's some exceptions. And then high risk, which is a higher interest. For instance, this is low risk, so the interest rate is going to be low that you get as returns. But if you go right here, if you go to B, C, D, and high risk, the interest rates get higher. That means you make more money. But then it kind of becomes more like a casino, because what you're doing, you're gambling on a higher risk person that he's not going to pay back the loan that he received, or her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of guide you into a thing that I learned from a friend of mine that works really good for new people. The first thing is maybe you want to keep the loan under $10,000. The reason why is because they'll be able to pay off the loan faster and you'll get your interest rate. For instance, this is one of the lowest loans right here that I looked up, and it's got almost a 7% interest rate return on $4,000, and it's rated A. So if you put 25 into this one, there's a good chance that in them 3 years you're going to get your 6.91% interest back. So the other thing you want to look for is not just the money amount, keeping it under 10,000. You want to look at percent funded. Percent funded is how far the loan is in progress. When it usually gets to 74%, like here, or 70%, it's almost guaranteed that the loan is going to be funded. If you're right here, under 70%, you don't know if the loan is going to be funded, because by the time it gets here, something might happen where the loan won't get funded. But no worries, because you'll get your $25 back. So some of the key things I look for myself is under $10,000, over 74% or 70% funded, somewhere in that area. So for instance, let's say I had $100 right now. So I'm going to show you what I would do. 25 on this one, because it's almost funded. So it's 6.66% interest. Okay, so 25. Okay, this one here, another $25 on that with the 7.5% return. And this one's a B. Like I was saying, B is one step away from A. But B is kind of close to A, so you can take a chance on this one and maybe throw 25 into that one. But if you want a fail-safe thing, I would stick with AA or A, because of the fact when you're new, you might not have strategies for investing or know a lot about how investing works. Although they do give you tools on this website to look up a person's history and things like their credit line and their income to debt ratio and things like that. You're always better off picking the lower risk, like this AA here is almost a sure thing, so is the A. But then B, C, and D, when you start venturing out, you get more interest, but there's more risk. So basically, the more interest you want on your money, the more risk and likelihood that you could lose. The less interest and the higher credit rating, the more guarantee that you're going to get that 6% back. So hopefully I'm not confusing you on this, but just to try to make it a little more so you guys could understand what's going on. This is for new people, by the way. If you guys are already into this thing and you know a lot, we need to probably be learning stuff from you guys, the guys that have done this for several years and have better strategies. But I'm just speaking from a new person's perspective. Now, if you look here, this one here is 70 or 97% funded, so this one's almost ready to get started. So an 8% return. It's an A-rated borrower, $7,000. Still under $10,000, so there's a good chance that that's going to be that you're going to probably collect on that 8% after that 3-year loan. Now, let's say if somebody didn't pay the loan, well, then you would lose your $25. But like I said before, it's highly likely that an A or an AA is probably going to go through and you're going to win your money. And that's why you spread everything out. So you heard the old saying, don't put your eggs in all in one basket. Well, that's what it is here. You put eggs in different funds here. Some of them, or majority of them, if you invest low risk, you're going to get, the majority of your money back. But when you venture out in high risk, if you want to do a little bit of low risk, a little bit of high risk, and you spread your funds out wide in different areas, chances are you'll still get some kind of return. But overall, if you look at it like as if you had like a bank account and you're not getting any interest money sitting in the bank anyway, so why not micro invest in peer-to-peer loans here and take a chance with your money. You don't have to put a lot in. You could put $50, $100, $200, and that'll set you up so that you learn how to save money, but at the same time you also learn how interest works and investing works. So it's nice each month to put aside money that you're not going to touch for 3 years and just say, I'm going to forget about it, I'm going to leave the money in, let it grow, let the money work for you. You don't work for the money, you let the money work for you. For instance, if a person put in $100 on this, you get 8% return. You get $8 or $9 back after that 3 years. And the thing is that you didn't do anything for that. You just allowed the money to sit there, and you're getting $8-9 back in 3 years for doing nothing at all. So that's what they call cash flow, even though it's not that big. It's still cash flow that's coming to you by you just saving your money and not touching it. Whereas a bank, you're under 1% interest, and it's terrible. You just get chump change. But at least this, you're going to get 10, 15, 20 bucks back in your pocket at the end of that 3 years. And the more you put in, the more you get out. So if this was $1,000 that you put into this one, obviously you can do the math yourself. You get 8-9%. You're going to get 80, 90 bucks out of that thing. With that interest. So that's what you guys have to realize, is that when you put the money in, it's not meant for you to just go grab the money and take it out when you need to, to go do something or pay a bill. You have to forget that the money's there and just leave it alone so that you can have some kind of investment going on. You could be the poorest person in the world and only afford $25 a month, and you can still win and build up a nest egg for yourself, learn investments, get better at investments, and then you can venture out into other investments. If you don't want to stay on this website, you can go to the stock market or wherever you want. But I would start out with something like this, because Prosper is kind of like a mini scale for a new investor that doesn't know anything. It allows you, like I said, $25 to get started. So it's a pretty good thing to get into. You don't have to put all your money here, but if you put a little bit in, you'd be surprised what the poorest person can even save over 3 to 5 years, and what kind of returns somebody could get if they're consistent with putting in their monthly amount and then just letting the nest egg grow. You'd be surprised what kind of returns you could get. So some people have gotten over 10% returns on their money and stuff, and that can be pretty big. If you put in a lot of money over the years. So anyway, some people call it the poor man's way of getting rich, where you just throw a bunch of money into something where the interest just takes care of everything for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think. That's kind of like what Prosper is. If you got A-rated borrower or AA or something like that, like I was saying before, the likelihood of having a charge off is kind of rare because their credit rating is so good. So 7% or 6% or whatever. But anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you guys. I did this video cold turkey. I didn't prepare for it, so hopefully you kind of understand where I'm coming from. But anyway, thanks for watching the video.